Well, wait till I tell you. We were down south in Alabama, Bill Driscoll and myself, when this kidnapping idea struck us. It was, as Bill afterwards expressed it, during a moment, a temporary mental apparition. But we didn't find out that till later. There was a town down there called Summit. We talked it over on the front steps of the hotel. Philoprogenitiveness, says we, is strong in semi-rural communities. Therefore, and for other reasons, a kidnapping project ought to do better there than in the radius of newspapers and send reporters out in plain clothes to stir up talk about such things. We knew that Summit couldn't get after us with anything stronger than constables and maybe some lackadaisical bloodhounds and a diatribe or two in the weekly farmer's budget. So it looked good. We selected for our victim the child of a prominent citizen named Ebenezer Dorset. The father was respectable and tight, a mortgage fancier and a stern, upright collection plate passer and forecloser. The kid was a boy at 10, with bas-relief freckles and hair the color of the cover of the magazine you buy at a newsstand when you want to catch a train. Bill and me figured that Ebenezer would melt down for a ransom. Well, wait until I tell you. One evening, we drove past old Dorset's house. The kid was in the street, throwing rocks at a kitten on the opposite fence. "Hey, little boy," says Bill, "would you like to have a bag of candy and a nice ride?" That boy put up a fight like a welterweight cinnamon bear. But at last, we got him down to the bottom of the buggy and drove away. After dark, I drove the buggy back to where we had hired it and walked back. There was a fire burning, and the boy was watching, with 2 buzzard tail feathers stuck in his red hair. He points a stick at me when I come up and says, "Hi, Chris Paleface, do you dare to enter the camp of Red Chief, the terror of the plains?" "He's all right now," says Bill. "We're playing Indian. I'm old Hank the Trapper, Red Chief's captive, and I'm to be scalped at daybreak." Just at daybreak, I was awakened by a series of awful screams from Bill. They weren't yells, or shouts, or howls, or whoops, or yops, such as you'd expect from a manly set of vocal organs. They were simply indecent, terrifying, humiliating screams, such as women emit when they see ghosts or caterpillars. It's an awful thing to hear a strong, desperate fat man scream in a cave at daybreak. I jumped up to see what the matter was. Red Chief was sitting on Bill's chest, with one hand twined in Bill's hair. In the other, he held the sharp case knife we used for slicing bacon, and was injusticiously and realistically trying to take Bill's scalp, according to the sentence that had been pronounced on him the evening before. I got the knife away from the kid and made him lie down again. But from that moment on, Bill's spirit was broken. He lay down on his side of the bed, but he never closed an eye again as long as that boy was with us. Then, Bill and I got paper and pencil, and we collaborated a letter that ran this way. "Ebenezer Dorset, Esquire, we have your boy. We demand $1,500 for his return. If you fail to comply, you will never see your boy again. If you pay the money as demanded, he will be returned to you safe and well within 3 hours. These terms are final. If you do not see to them, no further communication will be attempted. 2 desperate men." I addressed this letter to Dorset and put it in my pocket. I walked over to Poplar Cove, posted my letter, and came away. At 8:30, I was waiting for the messenger to arrive. Exactly on time, a half-grown boy rides up on a bicycle, locates the pasteboard box, slips in a folded piece of paper, and pedals away towards Summit. I got the note, and I opened the note, and I read it to Bill. The sum and substance of it was this. 2 desperate men. "Gentlemen, I received your letter today by post. In regards to the ransom you asked for the return of my son, I think you're a little high in your demands. And I hereby make you a counter proposition, which I'm inclined to believe you will accept. You bring Johnny home and pay me $250 in cash, and I agree to take him off your hands. You'd best come at night, though, for the neighbors believe he is lost, and I couldn't be responsible for what they would do to anyone they saw bring him back. Very respectfully, Ebenezer Dorset. I glanced at Bill, and I hesitated. He had the most appealing look in his eye that I ever saw on the face of a dumb or talking brute. Sam, says he, what's $250 anyway? We've got the money. One more night of this kid's gonna send me to a bed and bedlam. Besides being a thorough gentleman, I think Mr. Dorset's a spendthrift for making us such a liberal offer. You ain't gonna let the chance go, are you? We took the boy home that night. We got him to go by telling him that his father had bought a silver-mounted rifle and a pair of moccasins for him, and that we were going to hunt bears the next day. It was just at midnight when we knocked at Ebenezer's front door. Just at the moment when I should have been abstracting my $1,500 from the box under the tree, Bill was counting out $250 into Dorset's hand. The kid, when he found out we were going to leave him at home, started up a howl like a calliope and fastened himself to Bill's leg. His father peeled him away gradually, like a porous plaster. How long can you hold him? Asked Bill. I'm not as strong as I used to be, says old Dorset. But I think I can promise you 10 minutes. Enough, says Bill. In 10 minutes I shall cross the central, southern, and middle western states and be legging it trippingly for the Canadian border. And as dark as it was, and as fat as Bill was, and as good a runner as I am, he was a good mile and a half at his summit before I could catch up with him.